the new majority that never sleeps. It is the future of artificial intelligence. AI is shaking the foundations of human civilization. It will dominate the 21st century. Right now, it lives in your pocket, in classrooms, in doctors' offices. It writes, translates, designs, teaches, and heals. Companies use it to sell more. Governments use it to predict risks, secure data, and make decisions. But this is only the prologue. By 2035, artificial intelligence will be in every household appliance, on every street, on every trip, even while driving your car. It will plan your cities and your leisure time. A mode of Neurable, Neuralink, BlackRock Neurotech, and Cognition are racing to perfect brain-computer interfaces, not all invasive in a market projected to hit $3 billion by 2030. Factories will run themselves almost fully automated. Microsoft and Siemens talk openly about self-optimizing plants. Tesla and Volvo foresee more robots than humans on their production lines. Accenture predicts digital factories with minimal human oversight. Plants, not just industrial ones, will no longer need lights, shifts, holidays, sick leave, or weekends. And jobs. Relocate, absorbed. And what about employment? Does it disappear? Does it move? Is it reabsorbed? Is the worker transformed with new training? And if so, towards what? And if so, where will they go? According to Goldman Sachs Economics Research, March 27, 2023, generative AI could automate up to 300 million full-time jobs worldwide. 2/3 of current occupations are at risk. Goldman Sachs said up to 300 million full-time jobs. Were they being prudent? Conservative? My projections relating the degree of automation, hours worked, and full-time jobs replaced yield worse results. More than 460 million full-time jobs would be replaced if global automation of economic activities reaches 50%, which could be even higher. This is a likely global scenario within 25 years. It is also possible that social tensions could slow the adoption of automation. In 2025, with an average of 20% automation of all economic activities worldwide, total hours worked will fall from 6.9 to 6.5 trillion, equivalent to replacing 75 million full-time jobs. By 2035, with 36% global automation, hours worked will fall from 6.7 to 6.2 trillion, equivalent to between 92 and 160 million full-time jobs. By 2050, the likely automation of economic activities will be between 30 and 85%. Depending on the activity in question, with an average of 50%. The hours worked will be between 5.8 and 6.3 trillion, and the full-time equivalent jobs replaced will be between 285 and 460 million. Another indicator of interest in AI is the number of scientific publications. Based on consolidated data from 2024, the number of publications was 23,695 in China, 10,055 in the EU, 8,412 in India, and 6,378 in the United States. The global network of artificial intelligences, data centers, and embedded systems had 200 billion daily interactions in 2025. It will have 445 billion daily interactions in 2035. And in 2050, it will approach 2 trillion daily interactions. AI is also big business, a massive business, already consuming enormous amounts of energy, more electricity than entire countries, and it's only just getting started. This consumption will add to the growing demand that we want to meet with renewable energy. However, these renewable energy connections are difficult to regulate due to their variability. Given the growth in consumption, official institutions such as the DOE or the European Commission agree that electricity grids must be autonomous, digital and resilient to integrate renewable intermittency and guarantee stability. Global electricity consumption for data centers and artificial intelligence will evolve as follows. By 2025, data centers and AI will consume a combined total of 490 terawatt-hours per year. That's 1.6% of all electricity produced worldwide. AI alone consumed 178 terawatt-hours. By 2035, consumption will be between 800 and 1,400 terawatt-hours. And by 2050, it is estimated to be between 1,300 and 2,600 terawatt-hours per year. In 2025, AI platforms generated only 0.15% of global internet traffic. Video, Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, and X accounted for 80%. Social media and browsing made up 15%, and the remaining 5% consisted of gaming, email, and other activities. The other aspect of the business is based on its social and everyday implementation. Cameras no longer just record, they classify. Top facial recognition systems hit false positive rates as low as 0.08% under ideal conditions. I quote the 2023 Stanford AI Index report. p. 112. Behind this seamless user experience lies a vast infrastructure of AI models trained on data collected without the full awareness of users. I quote an open letter calling for a pause in an AI experiments that develop increasingly powerful digital minds that no one, not even their creators, can reliably understand, predict, or control. Among the signatories are Elon Musk, Yoshua Bengio, Steve Wozniak, Stuart Russell, and as many as 31,810 others. Many voices are sounding the alarm, but their protests, theirs, mine, those of intellectuals, institutions, workers, and unions seem immersed in this digital fantasy that reduces their criticisms to mere data to be managed. The AI landscape is dominated by the U.S. financial core, comprised of Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, and their founders, who fund 80% of global AI. China is an alternative state, block 16%, and India is emerging 4%. Others, like Russia, are relevant in specialized applications. Banking dynasties and private clubs, invisible on any organizational chart, impose ideologies, models, and scenarios. All this human legacy has been recorded, appropriated, and ideologically biased by algorithms that deny access to data if it compromises or contradicts corporate interests. They know your mind even before you think it. Is this a utopia? Education will no longer be about transmitting knowledge, but about that amalgam called co-creation, which gives prominence to a symbolic machine that usurps teaching, simulates being the mind, and compiles the entire library of humanity. But what if this utopia has cracks? Who regulates what they don't understand? Who will have the ethics and the power over this? Who will control the data and the narratives? Who will be able to impose ethics on corporate interests? Who will dominate autonomous artificial intelligence? Currently, artificial intelligence continues to leverage the network for massive training, using specialized chips, improving its security and human control. By 2035, it will feature hybrid quantum classical computing, extended memory, contextual reasoning, autonomous integrated control systems, and applications for critical infrastructure. And by 2050, AI will manage autonomous quantum infrastructures that will operate as a structural layer of society, achieving functional parity with humansand, establishing itself as a structural element of society and people's daily lives. This magnificent machine will free us from intellectual fatigue and practical inferences. It is a passport to an emancipated humanity. Will we become disoriented? Will we dissolve into homogeneity? Will we understand our identity? Will we empower ourselves over our destiny? But without ethics, which it currently lacks, it can also lead to dystopia, to human control. Its usefulness can become dependence, structural, social, individual, emotional, and intellectual. A dangerous dependence with the risk of developing into cognitive dependence. Ethics are needed. Much more ethics.